Hydrogen fuel cells, the solution to pollution.
若に対して無礼だ。汚れに汚る本気だよ。
Hydrogen fuel cells consist of hydrogen, oxygen, and water. The hydrogen and oxygen combine to create an electric current. The electric current helps create the hydrogen fuel cells. This energy source can be found in water, fossil fuels such as gasoline, methanol, natural gas, propane, as well as in ammonia and sodium borohydride. Hydrogen fuel cells consist of a central electrolyte layer in between two catalyst layers. When a hydrogen atom contacts the negative anode catalyst layer, it splits into a proton and electron. The proton goes straight through the central electrolyte layer, while the electron produces electricity as it passes through an external circuit. The circuit returns the electrons to the positive side of the electrolyte layer. They then bond with protons and join with oxygen, creating water in the positive cathode layer. Fuel cells are cleaner and more efficient than traditional combustion. Pure hydrogen's only byproducts are water and heat. No pollutants or greenhouse gases are produced, so it is good for our health and the environment. Hydrogen fuel cells can be mass-produced because there is an indefinite amount of oxygen and hydrogen, but the only setback is it is expensive. Hydrogen fuel cells were first discovered by German scientist Christian Friedrich Schonben. It was first developed by Welsh scientist Sir William Robert Grove. Some reasons for the development of hydrogen fuel cells include reduction in pollution and reliability on other countries for fuel. Fuel cell power plants have been offered for about $3,000 per kilowatt installation cost, but this would be only acceptable in areas where electricity prices are high and natural gas prices are low. A study by Arthur D. Little predicted that when fuel cell costs drop below $1,500 per kilowatt, they will achieve much wider market. Hydrogen fuel cells are being used for some appliances, but they are mainly still being researched and tested. Governments should spend money on research and developing this energy source because the future will require that a fuel other than oil that can power appliances. Some of the more major appliances that the hydrogen fuel cell may be able to power are power plants, hybrid vehicles, emergency power systems, and rechargeable batteries. For things such as a notebook computer. Oil prices are constantly rising, and if taxpayers are willing to spend more money to research the hydrogen fuel cell, it may cut the cost of living for future generations. There are cars, scooters, and buses for public transportation. Further studies make commercial use a possibility for the future. Hydrogen fuel cells can be used for any tasks that require powered energy. Similar to oil, hydrogen fuel cells are expected to power cars, produce heat, and other sources of energy. Hydrogen fuel cells would most likely replace oil. If this became a major energy source, the adjustments would be very minor. Things would be done in the same way, but with very small differences. For example, if hydrogen fuel cell powered cars were invented, then there would be obviously a large difference in the car you are driving, but on a daily schedule it would be the same. You would still be driving a car to wherever you would have to go. Hydrogen fuel cells are a viable energy source. The amount of money that goes into the research of this fuel is very large, and it is very likely that a solution to its dangers will eventually come. Research is constantly being done and improvements are being made all the time. It would not be much of a surprise if the fuel cell was used on products in the near future, even if it does take more than 20 years. It is very complicated and every precaution has to be taken into thought. If something like hydrogen cars are released to the public and something messes up, every single hydrogen car has to be taken back and fixed, which would take a long time. This alternative energy source is predicted to be very useful for many tasks and reasons. It has the possibility to completely replace oil and can be cheaper to produce, cutting costs of living for people everywhere. Generations to come would be very thankful that this type of fuel was finally able to be invented.